The nominees dropped. The timeline froze. What should have been the ultimate crowning achievement for a fourth-gen powerhouse instantly turned into a digital war zone. The teasers dropped. The fandom went silent. In an instant, the entire K-pop world was turned upside down. Welcome to StarScope K-Report. Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates. From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
Yeah, and the fallout that we are unpacking today, it is really exposing some of the absolute deepest fault lines in the entire industry right now.
Oh, completely.
I mean, we were looking at a historic triumph, on paper, that has somehow bizarrely triggered one of the most vicious debates in modern K-pop. It is literally tearing a massive fandom straight down the middle.
Right. And our mission for this deep dive is to untangle that exact paradox. We are pulling from a massive stack of sources today.
Huge stack.
Yeah, we've got Soompi, Koreaboo, LOXK, some really intense Reddit discussions, and official reports from Chosun. And we're using all of this to understand how the 2026 MTV VMA nominations ignited this crisis.
Yeah, it's wild.
So on August 18th, MTV officially announced the nominees. And we have absolute heavy hitters dominating the list this year.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, BTS scored 2 nods for their hit Swim.
Which is just, classic.
Right. And then Huntree X is nominated for Golden. Blackpink snagged a group nod for Jenim and Me. And Lisa, she wrapped up 4 solo nominations for her Dream short film.
4. That is just, she's unstoppable.
Literally. Then you have Cordis getting their first ever VMA nods with Red Red.
Which I was so hyped about, by the way.
Same. And Katsy is in the running with Pinky Up.
Yeah, the sheer volume of global representation there is staggering. I mean, the competition this year is fierce.
Oh, yeah.
And getting recognized in this lineup, it's a massive validation of global impact for any group.
Which is exactly what makes the headline of the day so fascinating, because SSERAFIM stands as the only 4th-generation girl group nominated for Best K-pop.
Yeah.
With their track Spaghetti featuring BTS's J-Hope.
Which is a banger, let's be real.
It's a total banger. And being the sole 4th-gen representative in that category, that is an undeniable flex.
Oh, massive flex.
Fearnots should be having the time of their lives right now.
Right. They should be organizing watch parties, celebrating, trending hashtags.
Exactly. But instead of popping champagne, K-nets and international fans are currently locked in this brutal clash over the group's recent live performances.
Yeah, and if you picture the timeline right now, it is so jarring. On one side, you have these pristine gold MTV VMA graphics celebrating this historic milestone.
Right.
But then right beneath them, the feed is just choked with glitchy, zoomed-in fan cam footage from a massive outdoor Tokyo festival.
Summer Sonic.
Exactly, Summer Sonic. That clash of imagery perfectly captures the whiplash fans are experiencing. The catalyst for all of this comes from a breakdown by the YouTube channel Idol regarding the Summer Sonic 2026 Tokyo controversy. So on August 16th, the group performed an hour-long set.
And the stadium energy was electric.
It was, but a clip from the official live stream started circulating, and it showed members Yunjin and Sakura turning their microphones away from their faces.
Oh, I saw this.
Right. They point them toward the audience to, hype up the crowd.
Right, scream for us, Tokyo, that kind of thing.
Exactly. But the vocals just continued.
Yeah, uninterrupted at the exact same volume.
With the exact same breathy, live texture.
It's like a street magician accidentally dropping their deck of cards in the middle of a trick.
Oh, that is the perfect analogy.
Right. The illusion of the live vocal performance is instantly shattered because when the mic is pointed at the stadium crowd, but the perfect studio vocal is still blaring through the broadcast feed, it just looks incredibly damning to the general viewer.
It really does. And critics pounced immediately. They were calling it undeniable proof of lip syncing.
Yep.
One viral post claimed the agency pre-recorded the entire set and only got exposed because of a stage mistake.
Wow.
People were mocking HYBE, pointing out how the label had spent years building a reputation for this group having minimal backing vocals.
Right, the whole fearless live performance Queens brand.
Exactly. And netizens were saying the agency invested all their resources into learning how to make a hyper-realistic live pre-recording because they couldn't teach the group how to actually project their voices.
That is so harsh. But here is where we have to look at the mechanics of live broadcasting, because the defense brings up a crucial technical reality here.
Right.
International fans who were actually standing in the Tokyo venue started flooding social media with their own smartphone recordings.
The raw audio.
Yes. And in those raw audience recordings, you can clearly hear the live vocals piercing over the backing track.
Yeah, you really can.
The defense argues that the official live stream mix simply amplified the AR track and muted the live mics for their broadcast feed.
Which we probably need to explain what an AR track actually is, because it is wildly misunderstood in the K-pop fandom.
Oh, please do, because people threw that term around so much.
Yeah, they really do. So AR stands for Audio Augmented Reality.
Okay.
It is not just the polished studio MP3 playing in the background. Like, audio engineers actually have the idols go into a recording booth and sing the song while physically jumping around.
Wait, really? While running in place?
Yes. Oh, running in place, yeah. They intentionally record the heavy breathing, the slight vocal cracks, and the physical exertion to create a track that sounds exactly like a live performance.
That is wild. I didn't realize they went to that length.
Oh, yeah. It's an industry standard now. And for a massive outdoor festival like Summer Sonic, where wind and crowd noise make live audio mixing a total nightmare, broadcasters often just crank up the AR track on the television feed to guarantee a smooth broadcast.
Right, so the broadcast audience hears this pristine AR track, while the stadium audience hears the actual live mics.
Exactly.
But, I mean, trying to explain audio engineering nuances on social media is a losing battle.
Oh, completely. It's impossible.
The damage to their public perception was already done. And the optics got significantly worse when we look at the Koreaboo report covering their PUREFLOW world tour.
Oh, man. The Sonder incident.
Yeah.
That amplified the backlash tenfold. So a clip resurfaced from the kickoff of their world tour, and it hit over 9 million views almost instantly.
Insane numbers.
Right. Visualize this. The group is sitting down on stage.
Just sitting.
Literally sitting on chairs. No intense choreography. They are singing a slower, emotional track called Sonder.
Okay.
Sakura misses her cue to lift her mic. But the AR track just keeps playing her voice perfectly. With that engineered live-sounding breath effect we just talked about. And you can see the maknae, Yunji, and Chaewon looking visibly flustered by the mistake.
Yeah, because sitting down and lip-syncing is the ultimate red line for a lot of K-pop purists.
It really is.
It gives their harshest critics an endless supply of ammunition. K-Nets are asking a very pointed question. Why is lip-syncing while physically resting still normalized in the industry?
Which is a valid question, honestly.
It is. One viral tweet pointed out the irony, saying, quote, "It's insane to me that lip-syncing while literally sitting down is still normalized, and now SSERAFIM can relate to that as well."
Ouch.
Yeah, some fans are directing their fury at the label, arguing Hybe is setting the girls up for public humiliation by not giving them proper vocal training and forcing them to rely on live AR.
Right, and then others argue the members themselves need to take accountability for not singing live when they aren't even dancing.
But if you think the vocal controversy is the biggest issue tearing this fandom apart right now, just wait. Because what netizens just uncovered about the group's physical health behind the scenes might actually bring the whole agency under fire.
Yeah, it gets so much darker.
So if you love staying updated on your favorites, make sure you're subscribed to StarScope K-Report. You got even bigger scoops ahead.
Because Source Music couldn't simply undo the damage of that Tokyo stream or the viral Sonder clip.
Right.
They realized they couldn't just drop a standard polished K-pop track and ignore the noise. They had to directly address the intense scrutiny they were under.
Yeah, according to LOXK and Chosun, they attempted to reshape the public narrative through their latest comeback.
And we have to talk about how they did that.
Well, let's break down the numbers on that comeback first, because commercially, it is a juggernaut.
Huge.
The PUREFLOW P.1 album and the title track Boompala, which released on May 22nd, dominated the charts.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
Chosun reports the album charted on the Billboard 200 for 3 consecutive weeks, peaking at 177th. They maintained a top 3 position on the World Albums chart, and the title track, Boompala, ranked 176th on the Global 200.
Which is massive for a fourth-gen group right now.
Absolutely. But the concept itself is what really demands attention here. Source Music states the album explores the idea of fear being an illusion.
Okay.
Boompala is an invented word functioning as a positive spell to ward off negativity, and musically it samples the Macarena.
Which is just, I mean, visualize this aesthetic clash.
It's crazy.
On one hand, you have serious, moody, high-fashion concept photos typical of the PUREFLOW era. But the music video and the stage performances are filled with neon, chaotic, borderline ridiculous Macarena choreography.
The 90s Macarena.
The actual Macarena. It is such a wild, unexpected artistic pivot. But it is a direct, calculated response to the brutal hate train they endured following their 2024 Coachella performance.
Right, because the Coachella fallout was a defining moment for them. The sheer volume of vitriol they faced online was unprecedented.
Yeah, a deep dive into the SSERAFIM subreddit really captures the psychological toll that event took on the fandom and the artists.
I can imagine.
Fans recalled how you couldn't even mention the group, especially Sakura, without someone launching a coordinated hate campaign in the replies.
That is just so toxic.
The harassment got so severe their social media accounts had to turn off comments. Dedicated fans were leaving the fandom entirely just to protect their own mental health.
Wow.
Because seeing your bias getting torn apart online every single day is exhausting.
Yeah.
Remember, Yunjin eventually wrote a deeply vulnerable letter admitting they were terrified the Coachella backlash was the end of their careers.
Which totally explains the Macarena sample.
Exactly.
They are actively rejecting the expectation of the untouchable idol. Gen Z has spent years watching the polished, unbothered, fearless fourth-gen aesthetic get worn out.
Yeah, we're kind of tired of it.
And SSERAFIM literally debuted with this I'm not scared attitude, but Boompala flips the script basically saying, actually, we were terrified, so what?
Yeah, I love that.
By utilizing the Macarena, a universally goofy, zero-coolness dance, they are deliberately dismantling that flawless idol image. It is vulnerable by design.
It is.
And fans on Reddit noted they are seeing real artistic growth alongside this vulnerability. Yunjin had a somewhat disappointing vocal performance at the Golden Disc Awards that drew heavy criticism, right?
Yeah, that was a tough time for her.
But she recently redeemed herself with a stunning, stripped-down vocal cover of Ayora's Knees.
Oh, that cover was beautiful. The narrative arc of redemption is definitely there. But we have to analyze the strategic timing of this.
What do you mean?
Well, is Boompala a genuine artistic statement of resilience, or is it a brilliantly constructed PR shield?
Ooh, okay.
Think about the mechanics of a viral TikTok dance. If you give the idols deeply unserious choreography like the Macarena, does it purposefully distract the general public from analyzing their live vocals?
Wow, so it shifts the conversation from vocal critique to viral entertainment.
Exactly.
That is a brilliant deflection. If you were laughing at the dance, you aren't critiquing the high notes.
Right.
But that strategy only works if the group can consistently show up to perform it. And that brings us to the elephant in the room regarding the live stages for this comeback.
Yeah.
Kim Chaewon was noticeably absent from several major broadcast stages, including Music Bank, Music Core, and Inkigayo.
And anytime a member misses a domestic broadcast, it triggers immediate alarm bells within the fandom.
Instantly.
And to understand why Chaewon's absence is so critical, we have to look at why the group is pushing themselves to the absolute brink globally right now. A highly upvoted Reddit thread brought up the vital context of their domestic struggles in South Korea.
The corporate drama.
Exactly. The highly publicized, messy legal debacle between Hybe, Min Hee-jin, and Yunjin severely soured the South Korean GP's perception of SSERAFIM.
Yeah, it really did.
Unfounded rumors and defamatory articles were flying around, severely damaging their reputation domestically.
In a normal year, a group of this caliber would be aiming for a domestic all-kill on the Korean charts with a comeback like this.
Oh, without a doubt.
But because the GP was alienated by the corporate drama, that domestic dominance was compromised.
Which forced the group to pivot aggressively to the West. They had to rely heavily on the international market to sustain their momentum and justify their fourth-gen powerhouse status.
Hence, the punishing 23-city world tour.
Yes, spanning Japan, North America, and Europe, alongside their heavy focus on Western festivals. They are carrying the immense weight of massive global expansion on their shoulders, just trying to outrun their domestic controversies.
And this intense global pressure to perform perfectly brings us to a much darker reality happening backstage. Later in this deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking leaked video that suggests Hybe might be forcing their artists to perform through agonizing pain. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a KT update.
Yeah, we've broken down the historic charts, the vulnerability of the concepts, and the mechanics of AR tracks. But beneath the polished performances and the massive streaming numbers, what is the actual human cost of maintaining the Halley wave?
Right. The story inevitably shifts from a pop culture critique to a serious labor issue.
It has to.
We are pulling from a disturbing report by Shining Awards that details the severe physical toll this comeback is taking on the members. The scene playing out on the timeline is grim fans are circulating glitchy, handheld backstage footage, zooming in on the members' faces as they look utterly exhausted or actively wince in pain.
It's awful to watch.
With those massive corporate HYBE logos looming ominously in the background.
The fandom's underlying anxiety finally erupted during a performance at Sungsil University. So the group was performing Celebration.
Okay, yeah.
A track known for its high energy. Fans instantly noticed that the intense headbanging choreography, which is like a staple in the chorus, was suddenly removed from the routine.
Wow, just cut out entirely.
Yeah, and despite that modification for safety, eagle-eyed fans noticed that Chaewon was visibly struggling to even move her neck during the rest of the set.
The reactions to that were swift and angry. Fans directed their fury at Source Music and the choreographers, pointing out that integrating literal headbanging into a daily routine for a touring group is a recipe for severe cervical spine injuries.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Exactly. But what really sent a chill through the fandom was a live broadcast that took place shortly after the university performance.
Yeah, this broadcast footage is incredibly unsettling to watch.
I saw the clip.
They're sitting together, interacting with fans, when Chaewon quietly mentions that she's experiencing neck pain.
Right.
The second the words leave her mouth, you can see Sakura look visibly shocked.
Yeah.
Sakura immediately makes a sharp, panic gesture, trying to silence Chaewon.
She, waves her hand.
Yeah. Chaewon awkwardly and quickly retracts the statement, and the other members frantically scramble to laugh it off and change the subject.
That is textbook media training panic.
Totally.
That is the visceral reaction of someone who knows they just violated a strict corporate mandate about disclosing injuries.
And Fearnot immediately connected this suppression to a past incident where Sakura herself was seen heavily limping between schedules, but was seemingly never allowed to address it publicly or take a medical hiatus.
Which is horrifying.
The fandom is terrified that the group is being pressured to hide their physical trauma just to keep the multi-million-dollar tour machine running.
Yeah.
And because the internet never forgets, netizens immediately linked this culture of silence to Yunjin Sakura's past statements about workplace bullying under HYBE.
Right. It rips open the entire debate about slave contracts and idols being treated like highly calibrated robots instead of fragile human beings. One fan tweeted a sentiment that really echoed across the timeline. Quote, "Idol life can be very off-putting at times. Gives robotic when they aren't allowed to be the human they are." It raises a terrifying question about the lack of basic agency these artists have to simply raise their hand and say, "I am in pain."
Exactly. And if we want to understand why a group feels they cannot ask for a break, we have to look at the macro level of HYBE's management philosophy.
We do.
Koreaboo recently published a report analyzing a behind-the-scenes log for BTS. We are talking about the most powerful, influential group in K-pop history.
Let's look at their itinerary for the FIFA World Cup 2026 halftime show, because it is staggering. According to the vlog, they played their Airang World Tour concert in Paris on July 18th.
In Paris.
In Paris. Immediately after a grueling 3-hour stadium show, they board a midnight flight.
Oh my gosh.
They land in New Jersey at 2:30 a.m. local time. They have a 1-hour commute to the hotel. And their stadium call time for the World Cup performance is 7:45 a.m.
It literally defies human physiology.
Yes.
Fans were baffled watching it unfold. One commenter noted, quote, "Everyone would have been pissed because I would have pulled a cat's eye and been a missing member."
Right.
Another pointed out that operating on that level of sleep deprivation while performing high-intensity choreography guarantees irreversible physical damage over time.
It's like running a high-performance sports car in the red line with the check engine light flashing. Eventually, the engine is going to blow, but the driver just refuses to pull over. Yep.
If BTS, the group that essentially built HYBE, the group with the absolute most leverage in the entire global industry, is subjected to this kind of punishing, unsustainable schedule,
Right.
what chance does a fourth-gen girl group have to raise their hand and say, "I need to rest my neck"?
They don't have a chance. The machine does not stop.
Yeah.
And this is where the entire narrative we're unpacking today synthesizes into one vicious closed-loop cycle. Let's connect the dots here.
Okay, lay it out.
The industry demands nonstop perfection and constant visibility to fuel global expansion. Because of the Minhijin domestic fallout, SSERAFIM lost their grip on the GP and had to pivot to touring internationally nonstop to maintain their powerhouse status.
Right.
The idols become severely exhausted. They get injured, like Chaewon's neck or Sakura's limp, but because of the corporate culture, they are silenced and forced to perform anyway.
Wow, yeah.
Because they are physically compromised and utterly exhausted, the agencies rely on heavy AR tracking and sitting down lip syncing just to help them survive the relentless schedule, which inevitably loops right back around to cause the massive fan backlash we saw at the Summer Sonic Tokyo Festival.
The cycle feeds itself.
It does.
The fans get angry about the lip syncing and the lack of live vocals. The idols get torn online, pushing their mental health to the breaking point. And then the agency has to release a vulnerable Macarena sampling track just to cope with the trauma of the public backlash.
Only to send them right back out on a 23-city tour.
Exactly. It is an industry machine that is actively eating its own artists.
It completely reframes the historic nature of that VMA nomination, doesn't it?
It really does.
I mean, when we log on and furiously vote for the MTV VMAs, are we celebrating the incredible artistry, the catchy music, and the resilience of these idols? Or are we inadvertently endorsing a grueling, relentless system that requires young artists to lip sync through severe neck injuries just to survive the crushing expectations of the Hallyu wave?
That is a deeply uncomfortable quota that every single fan consuming this content needs to sit with and really ask themselves right now.
You've been listening to StarScope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.